Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're doing great this evening. I'm going to be doing a film review. Now, this is a French horror film. It's part of the Fab Four. Now, the Fab Four are the four French extreme horror films that are regarded as the best of the new wave and the most memorable. Now, I've already done two reviews of the first two films in this series, Inside and Martyrs. So there's another two to go, and this will be the third one. This is a 2007 film directed by Xavier Gens, and this is Frontiers. Now, the story is, it's the not too distant future, and the French presidential elections are a face-off between a conservative and an extreme right-wing candidate. So as a result of these presidential elections, there's riots have broken out throughout Paris. After a failed robbery, a gang of small-time crooks split up and go on the run from the police, some of them seeking refuge in a seedy hostel deep in the middle of nowhere. Unbeknownst to the robbers, their hosts are a bunch of neo-Nazi cannibals who will go to any lengths to turn their fascist fantasies into a reality. Our young protagonist's ordeal begins, and subjected to all kinds of mutilation and torture, they learn the true meaning of universal suffrage. So that's your story. It opens up with a shootout with this small-time group of criminals and the police. One of these criminals are hit, and he ends up dying in hospital, but the rest of them manage to escape and get out of Paris. And to lay low for a while, they see this hostel in the middle of nowhere, and they decide to book themselves in to hide and find out, what's their plan B. So to start with, their hosts, they seem okay, but very quickly things spiral out of control, and it turns out that these hosts are in fact neo-Nazi cannibals who have plans for these criminals, especially the lead actress who's on the front there. Now, I won't tell you what their plans are, but yeah, it's pretty horrific. So a lot of people have compared this to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Some is going as far as to say that it's a French version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't agree. Each to their own opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, this isn't a rip-off of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sure, it does borrow some ideas from that film, but being such a classic horror film, why not pinch a few ideas? But that doesn't mean it's just a rip-off, because this certainly stands on its own 2 feet as an original piece of cinema. It's very dark. Now, it's not a film that you're going to be feeling good. Like all really good French films, you come away from it thinking, it's not a feel-good film. It says brutally shocking and extreme. It's not as extreme as it's made out to be. Now, comparing this to mainstream Hollywood, yes, it is extreme. But if you're comparing this to the likes of Hostel, oh sorry, not Hostel, got the Hollywood in my mind. If you're comparing it to Inside and Martyrs, this film isn't as extreme as them. So, if you're going in thinking or believing all the hype surrounding the brutality of it, you might be a little bit disappointed. But there are some really memorable scenes. There's one involving an Achilles heel and a pair of bolt cutters, and another one where one of the villains meets a very memorable death, and it's very, very gory, that scene. So enough in here to keep gorehounds happy. When the gore does happen, it happens and it's really good. And the violence does have quite an impact. But as I said, if you're comparing it to the other two that I've reviewed, this isn't as brutal. But having said that, it is a brutal film, if that makes any sense. Now, the acting, I thought the villains in the film were very memorable. They did a really good job. One of these villains, I've seen him in a lot of other French films, so they've got enough experience, I guess, just to make a really good villain. The woman who played the lead actress on the back there with the shotgun and on the front, she starts off with long hair but has it cut. She did a really good job. I haven't seen her around before in French cinema, so I hope this is the first of many films for her. I thought she did an excellent job as the main character, and by the end of the film, she's been to hell and back, and she's shaking and she's just completely traumatized. She's been through one hell of an experience, been to hell and back, and anyone who's gone through that ordeal, I would imagine, would be pretty shaken up. And by the end of the film, she's just covered in blood, and yeah, she's just been through the walls. So if you see these reviews saying, don't bother, it's just a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff, definitely check it out because, as I said, it's a film that stands on its own 2 feet. It does borrow ideas, but then again, a lot of films borrow ideas. But the thing I like about it is it's its own film. It's not just a complete scene for scene rip off. So it's definitely worth checking out. Just don't expect something as gory as Inside, and just don't let the brutality tag kind of mislead you. Because as I said, it is a brutal film, but it's just not that extreme. So yeah, Xavier Gens, he's gone on to Hollywood again. There's a few French directors since making these sort of memorable French films have gone on to Hollywood and made movies there. Now he's a hit. He made Hitman. I haven't actually seen Hitman. That really didn't interest me, but it's good that these guys are getting credit for their good work. I just hope that not too many of them go over to Hollywood because we need these guys to stay in France because France make the best horror films in my opinion. So, Alexander Aja, whose film I'll be reviewing next, his French film, he's gone on to do a lot of Hollywood horror films as well. They've all been good, but I think uh, his French films are much better. So, yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's, yeah, a very, very worthy addition to the collection. And the acting is good, the gore's good, and the storyline is good, and it's got a very depressing sort of dark atmosphere, very disturbing type of film. But yeah, just not as brutally shocking as a lot of people make it out to be. So that's not. I can't really say a lot about this film. As I said, it's a storyline that I've gone through, so I'll pretty much stop it here, and I'll be doing the review of this last French film very soon. So that is the 2007 Xavier Gens film Frontiers. I highly recommend it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this review and I'll see you later. Bye.